Good YouTube, it's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So finally, the man known as Money, iconic Hall of Fame, former pound for pound king, former 5-division world champion, pay-per-view king, retired 50-0, the man, the myth, the legend, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. He finally reacts to 4-division world champion, rival, Mexican superstar boxer, who is now widely considered #1 pound for pound best fighter in the world, after becoming only the 6th fighter in the history of the sport of boxing to become undisputed and hold all 4 major sanction bodies and the Ring Magazine belt, that being none other than Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is now 57 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, standing 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. He defeated former IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant via 11th round knockout victory in a very exciting fight. Prior to this, Floyd Mayweather, he stated that Canelo Alvarez is very tricky. He's very slick. He's very smart in the ring. He sets up his opponents very well. Okay, he sets traps very well. And he gave Caleb Plant, a warning, letting him know, listen, you got to be careful when you're dealing with Canelo Alvarez. Like Floyd Mayweather always says with himself, it looks different outside the ring than it is inside the ring. You think you could do one thing when you're outside the ring, and it's a completely other thing when you step inside the ring, okay? And we know Floyd Mayweather, he fought and beat Canelo Alvarez. He's the only person to put the blemish on Canelo Alvarez's resume. Now, he does have 2 other stains, the 2 draws, one in Triple G, one early in his career. But for the most part, the only official loss on his resume came at the hands of Floyd Mayweather back in September of 2013, okay, when they fought, and Canelo Alvarez at that time was 42 wins, no losses, and already had that draw on his resume, okay? Now, Floyd Mayweather, he got in the ring at 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach, 36 years of age. So he was 13 years Canelo Alvarez's elder, okay? Canelo Alvarez was 23 years old. Now, a lot of people, they say, well, he was too green. No, Canelo Alvarez had a lot of experience prior to that. Not as big as Floyd Mayweather, because you don't get any bigger than Floyd Mayweather. So when people say, well, he had experience, but he was so green, he hadn't had this big fight experience. Well, even if he fought Floyd Mayweather today, he wouldn't have that big fight experience, because there's nobody on the level of Floyd Mayweather, okay? And so with that said, prior to the Floyd Mayweather fight, Canelo Alvarez had already had some very, very credible experienced fights. He already fought Austin Trout, okay? He fought Josito Lopez, he fought Shane Mosley, Kermit Cintron, and Alfonso Gomez. So Shane Mosley, Josito Lopez, Austin Trout, he had experience already, okay? People love to tell you that he wasn't experienced, by the time he fought Floyd Mayweather. Well, he would never be experienced, because the wins on Canelo Alvarez's resume today, Erislandy Lara, Amir Khan, Miguel Cotto, who Floyd Mayweather beat, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Gennady Golovkin, Rocky Fielding, Danny Jacobs, Sergey Kovalev, Caleb Smith, Avni Yildirim, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant are nowhere near on the level of Floyd Mayweather skill-wise and superstar-wise, okay? Superstardom. None of those guys reflect Floyd Mayweather, okay? And so he could have the resume he has right now going into a Floyd Mayweather fight, and you would still say he don't have experience. Age is not experience, okay? Experience is experience on the job in the sport of boxing, okay? Age is not experience. It's who you fight in the sport of boxing that gives you the experience. Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Gennaro Hernandez, okay, everybody said Floyd Mayweather wasn't ready. He didn't have the experience. He was too young. Look how that played out, okay? He defeated Gennaro Hernandez, okay, who many people, like I stated that this was back in 1998, okay? So Floyd Mayweather, he just started boxing as a professional in 96. So just 2 years in his career. Okay, Floyd Mayweather fought Gennaro Hernandez, 38 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. Okay, for the WBC super featherweight title. Okay, at 130. Okay, Gennaro Hernandez is a Hall of Famer. And Floyd Mayweather was seen as to be too young, okay, too green. Okay, he wasn't ready. You understand? Well, guess what? Floyd Mayweather beat him with only 17 fights. When Canelo Alvarez fought Floyd Mayweather, he had 40 plus fights. Okay? He had 41 wins and no losses, 1 draw. Okay? By the time he fought Floyd Mayweather, 42 fights in total. When Floyd Mayweather fought Gennaro Hernandez, who was only 1 loss at 5'11", very big, 5'11" with a 72-inch arm reach. Okay? Who was who only had 1 loss to Oscar De La Hoya early in his career in 1995. Okay, Floyd Mayweather fights him in 98, 2 years after turning professional, and he dominates Gennaro Hernandez. Okay, when everybody said it was too early in his career. So it's not about age; it's about skill. It's about technique. Okay, if you have the goods, you have the goods. Period. Okay. So when Floyd Mayweather fought Gennaro Hernandez, Floyd Mayweather was 21 years of age. He was even younger than Canelo Alvarez with only 17 fights. And Gennaro Hernandez had 38 fights, 40 fights at that time. Okay? And Floyd Mayweather had 17 fights at 21 years of age. And he dominated the Hall of Famer in Gennaro Hernandez to win his first world title. Okay? Keep in mind, by the time Canelo Alvarez fought Floyd Mayweather, he was already a world champion. You understand? By the time Floyd Mayweather fought Gennaro Hernandez, that was his first title opportunity. So you understand, and this is a fair comparison because Gennaro Hernandez is a Hall of Famer. 38 wins, 1 loss when he fought Floyd Mayweather. You understand? So with that said, he hadn't fought any world champions. That was his first world champion, 17 fights. That was his first opportunity. He fought a Hall of Famer immediately. That was his first opportunity, okay? Now, you look at Canelo Alvarez by the time he fought Floyd Mayweather, okay? He won the title back in 2010. Oh, no, excuse me. He won the title. Canelo Alvarez won the title in 2011, okay? So he was a champion for 2 years by the time he fought Floyd Mayweather. He beat Alfonso Gomez for the vacant WBC super welterweight title, okay? Then he defended it against Kermit Cintron. He defended it against Shane Mosley. He defended it against Josito Lopez. And he had a unification bout with Austin Trout, who was the WBA champion, okay? So he had multiple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 title fights by the time he fought Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather had 0 title fights by the time he fought Gennaro Hernandez and was 2 years younger than Canelo Alvarez at 21. So it's not about age, it's about talent and skill. So with that said, Floyd Mayweather, he responds to Canelo Alvarez defeating Caleb Plant, and he says, essentially, this is sources close to Floyd Mayweather that told me his response on this matter. And Floyd Mayweather, he stated that he tried to tell everybody Canelo Alvarez is special. It just takes, I'm just on a different level, okay? So just to let everybody know, is Floyd Mayweather feels like I'm just on a different level than everybody else. And Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't see Canelo Alvarez losing here out, which is interesting because I said the same thing. I don't believe that there's a guy out there that could beat Canelo Alvarez, okay? And Floyd Mayweather just feels like there's not a guy out there with the skill that it's going to take to beat Canelo Alvarez. It's the reflexes. It's the skill set. Floyd Mayweather made Canelo Alvarez miss in a phone booth. Floyd Mayweather backed Canelo Alvarez up. Floyd Mayweather changed the looks. He gave him different angles. He gave him different looks. He gave him different defensive looks, okay? Different offensive looks. He went forward and pressured him. Then he went on retreat, okay? He fought him off the ropes. He gave him so many different looks to offset what Canelo Alvarez does. And Floyd Mayweather, he stated that he would still beat Canelo Alvarez today, okay? That, Canelo Alvarez has adopted his style, but obviously nobody could, perform his style better than he can. So with that said, Floyd Mayweather, he believes that Canelo Alvarez has learned a lot from him and incorporated a lot of his style and his technique. Okay, but obviously, if Floyd Mayweather fought him, nobody could. You can't outmaster the master. You understand? He's the student. So Floyd Mayweather, he believes that he's just on a different level, and nobody's going to beat Canelo Alvarez, and I don't see it either. I don't see undefeated 2-division world champion, WBC reigning middleweight champion to move up, Jamal Charlo, and fight and defeat Canelo Alvarez. 32 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout. He's flat-footed. He stands right in front of you, and if you look at his last few fights against Sergey Derevyanchenko, Juan Marcelo Mateo, a Matt Corrball fight, if you look at those fights, they were catching him in the pocket because he's very flat-footed. If you look at David Benavidez, who is 24 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockouts. He's very big at 6'1" with a 77-inch arm reach. Okay, young 24 with power. But again, he lacks the defense. You have to have somewhat the total package to beat Canelo Alvarez. Okay, you can't lack and have glaring weaknesses in certain departments. Now, nobody's perfect, but you can't have glaring weaknesses. Again, Jamal Charlo's foot speed and flat-footedness and standing in the pocket and getting hit, that's not going to work against Canelo Alvarez. And David Benavidez' glaring weakness on defense, that's not going to work with Canelo Alvarez, okay? Now, the stand the best chance if he goes up, maybe he just gets, to a point where he's just at such a size disadvantage that he just can't overcome it going up to light heavyweight. But if you look at Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, Artur Beterbiev holds the WBC and the IBF at light heavyweight. Dimitri Bivol holds the WBA at light heavyweight. But if you just look at the size of Artur Beterbiev, now physically weight-wise, they weigh, more than Canelo Alvarez, okay? But they're not very big, okay? At 5'11" with a 73-inch arm reach, he's Artur Beterbiev, who's 16-0, no loss and no draws, 16 wins by way of knockout. He's 36 years of age, okay? He has a fight coming up on the 17th next weekend against Marcus Brown, but he doesn't have the size, okay? So he's not going to be he's very strong. He has a lot of power, but he's not going to have any, enormous size advantages over Canelo Alvarez that Canelo Alvarez has not seen before, okay? So he does have power, but he has glaring weaknesses on defense himself, okay? And if you look at Dimitri Bivol, okay, now Dimitri Bivol is a guy, who seemed to be very technical. 18 wins, no loss, no draws. 11 wins by way of knockout. 30 years of age. He stands at 6 feet tall with a 72-inch arm reach. Again, his arms are just as long as Floyd Mayweather at 6 feet tall. So he's not going to have any enormous size advantage over Canelo Alvarez that he hasn't seen before. And again, he lacks on defense as well. He has power. He's technically skilled. He has a great jab. But again, he has weaknesses on defense as well. And I've seen him get touched a lot with counterpunches, and Canelo Alvarez is a very good counterpuncher, okay? And so with that, I don't think that they have the, what it takes to beat, a Canelo Alvarez, period. So Floyd Mayweather doesn't see him losing. He says that I'm just special, and every time Canelo Alvarez wins, Floyd Mayweather's win over Canelo Alvarez look that much better. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.